Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. It's your gal, Juliberry. Hi guys, I'm in my Tommy hoodie. Yo, sad teen, welcome, first time chatter. Hello, hello loves. Guys, Tommy merch came in. Woo, woo. Who we got in the chat tonight? Violent Pepper, MT Geek, Christy, Bear, Emotional Bear, hello, Jenny, and Geneva. Hi guys, how's it going? I'm in the same hoodie right now. Oh my gosh, are we twinning right now? That's so cool of us. Oh my gosh. I love the little ties so much. Hi Clover. I like the little tie knots like so much. So cute. We're gonna wait for some more people to roll in because I know SBI Sunday is a very sacred day of the week. Guys, look at my flowers. Look at them. They're so cute. I love them very, very, very much. My lasers are kind of bright tonight. Lasers, chill. Hold on. You know what? I like them. I like them. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone have a good weekend, a good Saturday. Hope Sunday was good. What's the fic for today? Excuse me. It's in it is in the chat. It is Full Throttle, reading Full Throttle again. Chapters 5 through 6. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Doing good? Blue flowers always remind me of Ghost Spur. Danny and I were talking about flowers today. Hello! Hello, Whimsical Bee, fellow Modberry. Finally able to watch again. I know! Winter break is among us. Sus. Yeah, Danny and I were talking about our favorite flowers. And so I was like, I don't know what my favorite flowers are. So I was like going through like stuff that I liked. I love sunflowers, daisies, and most recently bluebells. So bluebells, you just reminded me of blue flowers talking about Ghost Spur. But yes, can we get a lore recap? Of course, I will do a lore recap when I pull up the fic. I should probably message Kat. Might have to leave early for this. Oof. Oh, that's okay, Violent. There's always the VOD. Speaking of VODs, the most recent stuff is up now, I believe. I think I haven't updated. Yeah, the SBI Sunday VOD is updated. Can't say the same for the Golden Phoenix videos. Don't be mad. I'm getting there soon. Yeah, I did a clickbaity title for that one. Holy, my internet hates me today. L. Oh my goodness gracious. I think. Hi, Arbiter. Can't join today, but enjoy the fic. Aw, thanks, Teal. Where's my heart emoji? There we go. Okie dokies. I am in a constant state of like good old Aussie internet. Aussie! I watch Bluey, the blue healer. Healer. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Eat the emotes. But yeah, do you guys like the new overlays? Think they're kind of poggers? Cause I'm a big fan. Did I hear Bluey? Yeah. Are y'all getting those TikToks too? She's all over my FYP, guys. She's everywhere. Blurry! The overlays are nice. Thank you. I'm a big fan of this font. I like how like you just Cat! I was just about to DM you. I'm like, is Cat here? I have to make sure that she's here. Gotta lurk since I'm doing homework. Hey, good luck, Geneva. I know finals are a real pain in the bootay. I started watching Bluey with my brother. Oh, that's so fun, B. Also, hi, Scope! Hello. I'm working on my finals for English and chemistry. Oh, good luck with that. Oh my gosh. Got the notif and ran. As you should. I got my water. Elf is playing in the living room. I got my winter candles going. I wrapped all of my friends' gifts today. Guys, they're all placed nicely under my tree. I'm so excited for Christmas. How have you been? I've been great. I've been doing a lot of adult things today. Like, I woke up, played some Valorant with Danny, and then I ate breakfast. I made scrambled eggs, and I made bacon. Fried some bacon on the grill. Grill the stove. Yes, I go outside, and I have a grill. No, I don't have a grill. I don't have a grill. I could grill. If I had one. I could learn. That's what the good old YouTubes is for. It's crazy. I know. And then I went shopping. I got all my friends gifts. I just got to get some other things for like a white elephant gift exchange. But I'll go to the Dollar Tree tomorrow for that. But yeah, other than that, I've been great. Finals is pretty much done for me. I just have to finish one last project. Turn that in before Thursday. And then I'll be in Florida on Saturday. Family's going to Disney World. Maybe because I like things and giving things is very fun. Real. I love I think gift giving is slowly becoming a new one of my love languages. Julie, can I draw you? Of course. I am literally so open to fan art being made all the time. I have like a whole fan art wheel for it. I still gotta get gifts for 2 more people. I gotta draw a lot of things for friends because they made the silly decision to draw my eyebrows something. Request, print them out. Oh, wait, that's so cute though, B. Oh my goodness. Yes, Disney. I love Disney so much. Guys, I have a Disney, like, unofficial Disney Parks cookbook, but I was at Michael's today getting yarn for my friend, and because she likes to crochet, and so I found, like, the sequel to it. I found a drink recipe book, and they got, like, mocktails, cocktails, teas, milkshakes, smoothies, the whole shebang. And my friend loves to make, like, cocktails for me and her whenever she wants to have one. She has a little, like, mixology kit. And so, yeah, I got it for us to share. So, I gotta do 5 small drawings. Good luck. Happy to say I'm officially hype fixated on The Last of Us. Welcome to the club, kid. Welcome to the club. It's such a good, oh my gosh. It's so good. I was reading the fic that you posted in the fic Rex, and I loved it. Loved it. Transition. Yeah. Gonna listen to you read while I make a knot blanket for my niece for her birthday. That's so sweet. Oh my goodness. All right, gang. It's lore recap time. I used to knit a bit. I'm gonna try to relearn and try speedrun making scarves for my mother and father, maybe something for my brother. That's so sweet. Oh my goodness. All right. I love the setup of this. Oh my goodness. All right, let me put on the lore music. I can't believe I'm reading fanfics about Wilbur while my friends are going to see Wilbur play live at the Lovejoy concert. Oh my gosh. Okay, going to work on art or something, but I'm here. Thank you. Thank you, B, for your service. People who learn to crochet. Slay. They're performing right now? Not right now. I think they're, like, in line to go see them, though. But yes, they are performing tonight. They're in LA. They're in LA right now. My friend Johnny Jean, Leah_XO is there. As well as Elliot TV. And a couple of his friends too, I think. So yeah. We're gonna read about Wilbur while Wilbur's performing. Slay. Shout out to Lovejoy. Been knitting a scarf right now. Ooh, scarves are fun. Okay. Oh, this song's gonna make me emotional, but I don't care. I love the way that this new overlay thing is set up here. I'm a big fan of the neon Juliberry live, because it says Hello Sunshine, but I would love to get one that says Juliberry one day. Kind of like Filza. All right. We're going to do a lore recap. Lore recap. Full throttle. So, Tommy was in a crash. He's a NASCAR racer. He was in a crash and he partially lost his hearing. So he's been kind of going through it. He had a previously bad chief, and who has now been replaced by Filza, and his crew has been replaced with Techno and Tubbo, and so they're a good team. They're very healthy and stuff. Thank you for the scope. Thank you for the lurk scope. Yes, thank you for the scope. Wish I could go see Lovejoy. Yeah, same sad teen. I had a concert yesterday. Heck yeah, you made it just in time. You made it just in time. Also, hi Phoenix. So yeah, his team is much better and nicer to him now than his previous one. He's going to race at the Daytona, and now he's met up with Wilbur, and Wilbur's been kind of a jerk because Wilbur was also in a crash, but that took him out for like 5 years, so he couldn't race, and now he's like completely deaf, and he uses sign language. And they had a little moment in the last chapter where Wilbur was like signing at him and stuff, but Tommy didn't know what that was, and Wilbur's like, oh, no ASL? He's like, no, you bitch. And also Tommy gave his little cap to Michael, so wholesome. Love to see it. Turn this down. Oh, this music. Oh, my heart. Okay. Getting in my feels. Hold on. Okay. Whew. Oh.
You should also read this Wattpad story called Cherry Bomb. It's really good.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I read something about Cherry Bomb. I think it was on AO3 as well, isn't it? That's when Tommy's like a drag racer, right? If I'm thinking correctly. But thank you for the bit. Oh my goodness. Thank you. And thank you for reminding me to mute alerts so it's not too distracting. Alright. Chapter 5. Full Throttle, Chapter 5. Has been hard getting back out here. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, Wilbur says, and Tommy catches the way his fingers turn inward to subconsciously fiddle with the hem of his jacket. But I'm ready now. I'm excited. I'll close my door in case you can hear the TV. Ooh. There's so many links to shove at you all. Oh, I feel like I know what those links are. Okay. Ave Maria. Alright, guys. Get comfy. Snuggle with your blanket. Grab a snack. Get you a drink. Some water. You know, the whole shebang. And let's read. Me? How are you doing? I don't know why I said it like that. Hold on. Because it like cuts off. Because Tommy is hard of hearing now. I'm trying. Me? How you doing? Tommy, seated on his bed and surrounded by his laptop, phone, and the tablet he'd stole from Tubbo's bed, jumps at the distorted noise. His gaze flies up, locking with Tubbo's first before sliding to the hearing aids he'd ripped out and tossed on the bed in front of him. He figured he wouldn't need them for about another hour, and Sam told him taking breaks would be good for his right ear, the one that, slowly but surely, has been getting better. He's never actually listened to that advice before, though. The only time he's felt comfortable taking the aids off is at night, when he doesn't really need to hear anymore. Otherwise, it feels weird. It makes his partial deafness even more real. It makes the anxiety buzzing under his skin migrate to his chest. Oh my god, everyone on... Oh my god, Kit is live and no one told me? Hold on. Kitsage? No, I have ads. I'm not a subscriber anymore. Guys, go follow Kit. She's been on this giant break for months now and she hasn't been able to stream at all. She's the one that we do Tommy Tuesday with Kit. If you're not following Kit already, you should be. Okay. Shout out to KitSage_. My freaking beloved. Okay. Sorry about that. I just got a notification that she went live and I got really excited. All right. Back to it. Tubbo must at some point have recognized this. But because his yeah, whoa, what the muffin is happening? Tubbo must at some point have recognized this because his eyes dart back and forth between Tommy and his removed hearing aids curiously. He takes a cautious step further into the room. Tommy trails off, looking at the collection of screens surrounding him. On all of them, various ASL guide videos are paused. It only taken him 10 minutes post speaking to Wilbur to figure out what his gesture had meant. Dumb. Or according to the YouTube video of ASL swears he was currently streaming, dumbass. That jerk, Tommy had thought, laying on his bed with his phone held up above his head. And then, I'm gonna learn ASL just to fuck with him. So he had. Or well, he was. For the past few hours, he'd been sitting on his bed, old Daytona 500 footage pulled up on one screen, while the rest walked him through ASL greetings, the alphabet, numbers, common phrases, swears, foods, places, threats, pretty much anything and everything Tommy could find. He wasn't really learning it at all. He was half learning, half running himself through the Daytona racetrack for the 50th time. But the 50% of him that was focused on ASL had been practicing the word asshole when Tubbo walked in. It was rather vulgar. My finger got jammed, Tommy says, flying to shut down all of his screens. He clears the YouTube videos from Tubbo's tablet and clicks out of the ones pulled up on his laptop before slamming it shut. It takes him no more than 5 seconds, but by the time he looks back up, Tubbo's crossed the room to hover at the edge of his bed. Their room is quite small, to be fair. The only reason it's not cramped with 2 people living in it is because it was built for a king-size bed. But when Tubbo and Tommy decided to share, they'd gotten 2 twin-sized beds instead. A little walking space separates them in the middle, and one giant nightstand holds their collection of books, chargers, Tommy's hearing aid case, and Tubbo's mouth guard. Across from each bed, a closet and dresser drawers are built into the walls. "And yank it?" "What?" Tommy asks, squinting at Tubbo's mouth as it moves. "Want yank it?" Embarrassed, hate crawls to Tommy's face as he realizes he still doesn't understand. Tubbo's standing at the left end of his bed, closer to his bad ear. From there, he can't clearly make out anything he's saying. "Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry." For a second, he thinks he's managed to piss Tubbo off. Tubbo stands there, staring blankly, and Tommy can't read his face, but he thinks he'd be pissed off if someone made him repeat himself over and over again. His old chief certainly wouldn't have been mad. Tommy never listened, according to him. He was so bad at paying attention, and now he couldn't even listen to his best friend. Tubbo walks around the side of the bed, then swats at Tommy's leg until he moves it, giving Tubbo space to crawl up and onto Tommy's bed. He sits on his right side closer to his good ear and repeats, "Do you want me to yank it?" His voice is still a little muffled, but it's so much closer now. Tommy can finally make out the words. They're not harsh or dismissive. Instead, Tubbo speaks to him like he hadn't just asked him to repeat himself twice, like this was normal. "Oh, no thanks, I got it." Tubbo nods. Then he gestures at the one screen Tommy's left up. It's his phone screen, paused on a still image of Wilbur's record-setting lap around the track. "Studying?" "Barely." "Well, go on. How fast was his lap?" 32.880 seconds. Tubbo whistles. Whew, impressive. Tommy presses play on the video, and both he and Tubbo huddle closer to the screen as the image bursts to life. "That's number 6, Wilbur Soot, quite frankly flying down the track. Schlatt, I don't think I've ever seen someone go this fast at Daytona." "Nah, me neither, Ted. I think this might be a new world record." The crowd cheers in the background as Wilbur's bright blue Lovejoy chocolate-branded car zooms down the track. It's so fast, the next shot jitters as whoever's panning the camera struggles to keep up. He's in the lead currently, so there's no one stopping him. Ted laughs, almost hysterically. This is insane! The shot switches to one of the finish line, and Tommy and Tubbo both watch, spellbound, as Wilbur flies through it. He's going so fast the flagger waving the green flag has to grab his hat to keep it from flying away. That's the fastest lap I've seen out of anyone at Daytona. Ever, Schott remarks. Oh yeah, one thing's for sure, folks. You're gonna want to hold on to your hats around this rookie. The video cuts to black. YouTube's next recommended clip popping up, and Tommy shakes his head. Hold onto your hats and chairs, apparently. How do you take that corner so fast? He had to be pushing 200, Tubbo says, flipping positions to lay on his stomach. A serious amount of control. And luck. Jesus. It's a shame he crashed like 5 races after that. 6, Tommy corrects. But I guess that's what happens when you push the limits. That hypocrite, his mind screams. That hypocrite had the audacity to tell me I drove risky. He was going to have to figure out that word in ASL. Yo, Thea Cryptic, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Tubbo clicks around Tommy's phone, scrolling through the recommended videos. The second one down is, unsurprisingly, Wilbur's crash. But Tubbo scrolls past it. He finds one titled Daytona 500, 2009 highlights instead, and presses play. It's not really an important enough video to pay attention to. No clip is long enough to be worth studying, and the camera quality is awful. But he sets it up in the background and rolls to face Tommy. What even happened to him anyway? I know he nearly died and shit, but like... Tommy shrugs. The slightly underwater quality to Tubbo's voice in the videos is starting to annoy him, so he reaches across the bed and snags both his hearing aids. He wrecked. Punctured a lung, concussed himself into a 3-day coma, lost most of his hearing from a head injury. They said he walks with a limp now, but I saw him earlier, and he walks just fucking fine. You saw him? Tubbo's exclamation squeals off into static as Tommy presses his A's into place, and he winces, hurriedly pulling his hands away from the microphones. Yeah, he grits out. Talk to him, too. Up in the stands while you weren't here. He's a prick, Tubbo. Absolute dickhead. Seriously? What'd he say to you? Tubbo sits up, concern flickering across his expression, and Tommy opens his mouth, ready to spout off how Wilbur had accused him of not being ready to be back on the tracks, how he doubted his ability, how he'd called him a hazard. Then he thinks about how closely those words had resembled the words of his old chief, and his mouth snaps shut. Even if he trusts Tubbo not to hurt him, even if he started thinking maybe he does belong here, and maybe his crew really isn't just pretending to believe in him, it's still scary to voice the things he's spent years thinking in silence. Wilbur's words earlier, no matter how pissed off and confident he'd acted after, hurt him. Genuinely hurt. Because they were so close to what his mind provides him with nearly every day. He doesn't want to let that vulnerable part of himself leak out. Instead, he says the next best thing to the truth. Called me a child. Tubbo raises an eyebrow, concerned expression melting away, and Tommy leans forward to shove at his shoulder. Don't give me that look. You're only a couple months older than me. How would you feel if someone called you a child? Well, for starters, they wouldn't, because I am more emotionally mature than you. Tommy reaches behind himself for a pillow, and Tubbo shrieks and scrambles for the edge of the bed. His first foot hits the floor right as Tommy's fingers close around the pillow's edge, and by the time his second leg is off the mattress, the pillow has already been launched. It hits him square in the shoulder, and he laughs, stumbling for his own bed. Oh, no you fucking don't, Tommy says, as Tubbo yanks back the covers to grab his own pillow. You better not throw the... Tubbo's pillows collides with his face, and Tommy, ever merciful, gives his friend exactly 2 seconds to regret every life decision he's ever made before grabbing his pillow off the ground and firing back. The fight lasts barely a minute. Tommy gains the upper hand quickly, having more preparation time for this attack, but Tubbo is quick thinking and resourceful, and easily manages to pin Tommy back into a corner of his bed. There, he proceeds to barrage him with as many pillows as he can get his hands on until the door swings open and Phil walks in. Excuse me, Jesus. Dr. Pepper, man, I love it. Tommy freezes. One arm in front of his face and the other stretching for a pillow that's half on the nightstand, half sliding to the floor. Tubbo, pillow raised over his shoulder like a baseball bat, pauses his attack. They stay there, frozen. As Phil surveys the pillows strewn about the floor, the blanket half ripped from Tubbo's bed, and the small pile of electronics from Tommy's research session still collected in the center of his mattress. Well, Phil says after 5 seconds pass and no one moves. Dinner's ready if you two are hungry. Yes, please, Tubbo says at the same time as Tommy replies, Thanks, Phil. Still, no one moves. Phil sighs. Don't give each other any black eyes or new concussions, he warns, but there's a glimmer in his eyes that gives away his amusement. He slips out, closing the door behind him, and Tubbo and Tommy wait approximately 3 seconds before bursting out laughing. Oh, there's a clingy duo! Clingy duo! Oh my gosh, I love them. I love clingy duo. Oh, my picture's coming off the wall. What the heck? I like this print so much. Why are you coming off now? Guys, look at it. It's Crime Boys. Just made my 3rd cup of coffee for an all-nighter. Jesus, dude! Take care of yourself. Sorry you have to pull an all-nighter. I've pulled all-nighters before, King. If I can make it, you can make it. I'm also pulling an all-nighter. Yo! Hi, Thea! First time chatter moment. Welcome to the stream, guys. Sorry, this is gonna bother me if I don't fix it. I got this at TwitchCon. I spent so much money on prints, but it's okay because it's worth it. Okay, let's put this back right there. Huh. Stab. Oh my gosh, all my stuff is like peeling off the wall. I gotta reapply like all this sticky tack. I've never pulled an all-nighter. I fall asleep too fast. Man, I wish that were me. All right. Okay. All right, let's continue with the reading. When Tommy was little, he and his dad used to bring bottles of Coke and rolls of Mentos out to their backyard. His dad would position the bottles, and Tommy was in charge of dropping the Mentos in one by one until each container was full. Then they ran for cover under the back porch and watched as fizzing brown liquid spurted from the tops like fireworks. The days before race weekends always feel a little like that. Excuse me. Like standing over a Coke can, Mentos in hand, just waiting to drop them in and watch everything explode. As race week begins, everything ramps up. The anticipation is like electricity, zapping the air around Daytona Speedway until it fizzles with untapped energy. The driver's campground is the center of the track. In the center of the track fills up as more and more racers arrive. Mobile homes' doors are left propped open at night, inviting each other to mix and mingle before the big competition. That's one thing Tommy really enjoys about racing with NASCAR. Here, everyone seems relatively familiar with each other. When Tommy walks through the camp, occasionally someone will call out, greeting him by name. Most of the time, he'll be able to recognize them and greet them back. There's not much animosity between drivers and crews, either. Sure, there's the occasional rivalry, but usually those are all in good fun. Anything genuinely malignant. Malignant. Is that how you say that word? I don't know what. Ooh. Harmful, malevolent, injurious. Tending to produce death. Damn. Anything genuine malignant tends to be resolved in a matter of hours. They're like a family, and they accepted him into the hustle and bustle of their dynamic incredibly fast. Tommy, Purple shouts, 3 doors down, and Tommy pauses where he's just swung the door to his mobile home open for the morning. Hi! Malignant? I don't say words, I just write them. Cat, that doesn't help! Malignant? You think? You either think or you know. It is malignant? Oh my gosh, I have to reread this whole section. I'm dyslexic, mate. I can't help you. Oh my god. Okay. Anything genuinely malignant tends to be resolved in a matter of hours. They're like a family, and they accepted him into the hustle and bustle of their dynamic incredibly fast. Tommy, Purple shouts, 3 doors down, and Tommy pauses where he's just swung the door to his mobile home open for the morning. Hi, he shouts back, waving. Are you going to that interview with Twitch today? Shit. Yeah! Phil told him about that last week, during dinner after he'd caught him and Tubbo pillow fighting in the room. He'd asked if Tommy would be okay going, because Twitch was one of their crew's sponsors, and it would look really good. Tommy had agreed, but apparently a few heavy nights of sleep were enough to wipe his memory. Fuck. He was going to have to go on his run quickly, and then get dressed in something a bit nicer than athletic gear. That's how his day starts. He runs the track with Foolish and a couple of others, then returns home to fling off his sports attire and change into a red hoodie and jeans. Tubbo's awake by then, brushing his teeth at their shared sink, and he shoots him a silent thumbs up in the mirror before spitting. They have a breakfast of oatmeal and sliced peaches. Sliced peaches. They have a breakfast of oatmeal and sliced peaches. Then Tubbo heads off to the hotel to meet up with the rest of the pit crew, and Tommy heads to one of the Speedway's box rooms for the interview with Twitch. The room is bustling with activity when Tommy walks in. It's a little room with massive windows looking out over the track, and whoever is setting up the interview seems to be trying to figure out the best lighting while still getting the track partially in shot. Purple is there, sitting on a stool at the front of the group. So is Foolish. Amesy, number 14, waves to him from their place next to Purpled. He waves back, smiling faintly, and waits for someone to tell him where to go. It's loud in the conference room. Not loud like a racetrack's constant hum, but loud in an unpredictable, bustling type way. Executives shout directions back and forth to each other all around him, trying to set up a black curtain behind the drivers and block out a little of the window's light. A makeup crew is busy chatting, tech crew is discussing different mic levels and camera angles, and the drivers themselves are talking, excitedly rambling about the upcoming weekend. All of it bounces off the walls in the tiny enclosure, and Tommy's aides struggle to adjust to the variance in volume. "INNIT, get over here!" a voice suddenly shouts through the barrage of sound, and Tommy looks up just in time to see Amesy waving him over to their little group. Hesitantly, he slinks across the floor to the array of stools. "Hey, Amesy," he says as he gets close. "Where am I supposed to sit?" "Beats the heck out of me. We just been talking about practice tomorrow." "Boring," Foolish teases, leaning into their circle. "Can we talk about the beach here instead? It's gorgeous. Have you guys gone yet?" Tommy shakes his head right as Amesy leaps up. "Yes? Holy shit, Tom, you have to go. It's nuts. The water is, insanely blue." She continues on, waving her hands as she explains the pier and the sand, the way she could see her feet through the water whenever she waded in. But Tommy's attention is dragged away by the sound of someone else's voice filtering through his aides. The voice is much deeper, naturally pulling the attention of not only Tommy's aides, but also of the rest of their little group. One by one, each of them turns from the conversation to watch Wilbur Soot make his way over to the stage. He doesn't bother stopping to chat with them. In fact, he doesn't even go near them. He's busy talking with one of the Twitch representatives, who leads him to a stool in the back row and sits him down. "Man, he's gonna crush me in the qualifying run," Foolish says, leaning forward so no one around them hears. "I can't believe he's back," Amesy tacks on. "The guy wrecked so badly that half the racing world thinks he's dead, disappears off the face of the earth for 5 years, then spontaneously shows back up for the Cup Series. Who does that?" "Wilbur Soot does that," Purple says. Tommy says nothing, then glares instead, hoping Wilbur will feel his gaze searing into him like laser beams and turn around. He doesn't. "Okay, everybody, take your seats and let's get this thing rolling," someone behind him shouts, and the next 5 minutes are a blur of activity as everyone is directed to their chairs. Amesy, Purpled, and Foolish all stay in the front row. Wilbur sits in the back toward the left. There's someone else in a stool one down from him, leaving just one open spot in between them. And Tommy's heart sinks as he is guided over and dropped into the stool right between this new guy and Wilbur. Thankfully, there's no time to talk. The interviewer takes her seat right beside the main camera, and then they're rolling. Questions and answers flying back and forth across tiny space. For a while, she has them answer the same thing one by one. Questions like, "Tell me your name, number, and sponsor," and "What is your favorite part of racing?" Then she gets into specifics, starting with the front row and working her way through each individual racer before moving to the back. As the interviewer is asking Amesy how it feels to be back at Daytona for another year of racing with NASCAR, something starts poking at Tommy's leg, then prodding. Then an arm nudges his, and he turns to scowl up at one very self-satisfied Wilbur Soot. "What do you want?" Tommy whispers through grit teeth. Aren't you sponsored by YouTube? Why are you at a Twitch interview?" "I'm sponsored by both, genius." The interviewer asks another question, moving up the line to the person sitting beside Tommy, who he's figured out from the introductions is named Rambo. And he and Wilbur shut up as the camera pans up to their line. Tommy holds incredibly still, smiling and acting as if nothing is wrong. In his lap, though, he finger spells DUMBASS. Out of the corner of his eye, he sees Wilbur's eyes widen. And then he's spelling back from his own lap. KNOWASL. You do know ASL. He goes as much more rapid pace than Tommy, fingers flying easily through the letters. It's like they're a dance, intricately choreographed and highly graceful, entirely hard to keep up with for a beginner like Tommy. SLOWERDICKHEAD. Slower, dickhead. He signs back, and he thinks he hears Wilbur snort under his breath before signing again. CHILD. Child. MORON. Moron. IDIOT. Idiot. PRICK. Prick. STIT. Or SHIT. Shit. Mr. Innes. Tommy's head jolts up from where he'd been watching Wilbur's hands. The interviewer is staring at him. Everyone is staring at him, actually. His voice cracks, and he hurries to clear his throat. Sorry, yes? How does it feel getting back into the saddle after a wreck like the one you had in California? Any nerves? Well, not really. I mean, there are the obvious nerves because this is my first cup, but mostly I'm just excited. Wilbur starts finger spelling something in his lap again, but Tommy ignores it. And your new chief, Phil Craft, how's he been taking all of this? I heard that your entire team's been working with you to not only fix the car, but to fix headgear and comms that weren't exactly hearing aid friendly. It's funny because it's something I can't really imagine your old chief doing. He would have handed it off to someone else, told them not to bother him with that technological crap. All he cared about was the racing. She laughs like it's a joke. But a pit opens in Tommy's stomach. No one really knows what happened between him and his chief. They all think Tommy left to pursue better training, which was partially true, but he also left to pursue healthier training. Training that didn't leave him curled up in a hotel room calling his mom and crying. Training that didn't constantly tell him what a failure he was. Training that wasn't gaslighting him. His mom sat with him for hours on that first phone call, running through a list of everything his chief had done to make him believe he wasn't worth anything unless he was winning. But no one knew that. All they knew was that one day, Tommy and his chief were the racing world's dynamic duo, and the next they'd split and headed their separate ways. Tommy opens his mouth, closes it, and opens it again. It's eerily reminiscent of the first time he woke up in the hospital without his hearing, because nothing comes out. Or if something does, he can't hear it. Everyone is staring at him, and he can't speak. He can't speak. Pfft, that's dumb, Wilbur says, and Tommy's lungs finally suck in air as all the eyes in the room slide away from him. You can't care about the racing without caring about the technological crap. Everyone knows that. Racing is like clockwork. Without one piece of it, be that the tires, the pit crew, or reliable comms, the show doesn't run. You have to care about all the parts of the clock for it to work. He sits back after speaking, crossing one leg over the other and resting interlaced hands in his lap, as if he hadn't just saved Tommy's arse. The interviewer seems to take that as an invitation for more questions, because she hurriedly moves on. That's an interesting way to think about it. Clockwork. What about you, Wilbur Soot? How's it feel being back at Daytona after 5 years off the tracks? Wilbur squints over her head, taking a moment. For the first time, Tommy notices that there's an interpreter behind the interviewer. She's nearly hidden at the back of the room, but she's repeating the questions in sign purely for Wilbur to see. Oh, I haven't been off the track for 5 years. It's been more like 2, maybe? Wilbur answers, shrugging. The past 3 have been spent getting prepared, making adjustments like Tommy's and testing stuff out on local tracks. But even before that, I'd argue physical therapy counts as training. Oh, certainly, the interviewer notes. Has it been hard getting back out here? Probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, Wilbur says, and Tommy catches the way his fingers turn inward to subconsciously fiddle with the hem of his jacket. But I'm ready now. I'm excited. That's great news. I know a lot of people are excited to see you. Both of you, really. Wilbur nods politely, and Tommy follows his lead. He's a little numb, a little shocked at Wilbur stepping in for him, and still sort of thrown off by the interviewer's question. The way she talked about his old chief's attitude was so casual, so easy. But what stunned him more was that she'd gotten it right. Everything she said, from the handing it off to the all he cared about was the racing, was spot on. It's exactly what his chief would have done, how he would have acted. For weeks after Tommy left his chief, his parent had to work to convince him that what he'd gone through was wrong. No chief should act that way. His words weren't simply strictness, they were verbal abuse. If people could see that, if this reporter saw how his chief had acted enough to make fun of it, why had no one ever helped him? Why had no one ever tried to tell him this is wrong and helped him to find something better? Why did it have to be Wilbur Soot saying, you have to care about all the parts of the clock for it to work, and not anybody else? The interviewer moves on, addressing the entire group with her next few questions, but Tommy zones out for most of it. He lets others lead the conversation, answer the questions, and ramble excitedly. At some point, Wilbur taps his leg again. NINCOMPOOP. Nincompoop. What the hell does that even mean? Tommy thinks. Then he squints at Wilbur. Then he squints at him. Wilbur's shoulders tremble with slight laughter. MEANS STUPID means stupid. Stupid. FUCKYOU. Fuck you. Tommy draws his hand up to his chin, tapping it discreetly as he can with the camera still rolling, and a smile cracks across Wilbur's face. By the time the interview's ended, several new profanities have been exchanged via finger spelling, and Tommy is absolutely fuming. Now more than ever, he's determined to show Wilbur Soot up on the tracks. He's also determined to curse him out audibly, which is the main reason that, when they're finally dismissed, he jumps to follow Wilbur off the setup and out into the hallway. God, Wilbur says as they exit the tiny box room and emerge into fresh air. That interview was stupid. You're stupid. What the hell is a nincompoop? Well, he's about 5'9" with blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm 6'3". Keep telling yourself that. Tommy's mouth falls open, and Wilbur laughs. It sounds bubbly, Tommy realizes. Bubbly and infectious and annoying. Seriously though, you could tell that the interviewer knew nothing about racing. Wilbur says, shaking his head as they round onto a staircase leading down to the main floor. I mean, obviously I haven't been off the tracks for 5 years. They never would have let me race the Cup Series if I hadn't been training for years, just to get back to where I was. And the way she was laughing about your team making adjustments for you. She was laughing about my last chief, Tommy corrects. Still. For a moment they continue on in silence. Distantly, Tommy can hear the rest of the drivers exiting the box behind them. It's so far away his aides barely pick up on it, but Ames's laughter is loud, and it echoes in the empty stadium. Before they can catch up, Wilbur says, So did you learn fingerspelling just to fuck with me? No, I learned fingerspelling and most swears just to fuck with you. Oh yeah? Tommy grins, then brings a hand to his forehead, pinky finger extended. Idiot. Wilbur scowls and pats his right hand over the empty air twice. What does that mean? What do you think, child? I'm 18! Wilbur snickers, and Tommy grumbles to himself as they finish trekking down the stairs and round onto the next floor. Usually the Speedway has escalators that bring fans up into the stands, but they're powered down today while the Speedway is technically closed off, so any climbs up or down are taken by foot. I didn't know you had an interpreter, Tommy says eventually. It'd been interesting, during the interview, to watch Wilbur and his interpreter interact. The speed with which the interpreter communicated the question to him was impressive, and Tommy had found himself taking note of her hand gestures, trying to piece together for himself what words they correlated to. Wilbur shrugs. Helps in crowded rooms during interviews where the people are talking or further away. How much can you... I mean, no one's ever really said... How much can I hear? Wilbur asks. And there's a scoff to his words that make Tommy wince. Even if Wilbur is annoying and an asshole and a prick, the last thing he wants to do is offend him over something that affects them both. He's just curious. He wants to know how someone else experiences this. Enough to hear you, unfortunately, Wilbur says. When Tommy scowls, he sighs and points to one ear, the one with the hearing aid. Severe, he explains, then points to the other. Profound. Can't hear shit out of this one, and never will again. Hearing aids don't do much for it either, so I don't bother wearing one. That sucks. I'm sorry. Wilbur looks over at him, then hums non-committedly. I've had 5 years to get used to it. Doesn't really bother me anymore. What about yours? Mine? Wilbur gestures up at Tommy's aides and, oh. No one but his parents have asked him this before. Even Phil, Tubbo, and Techno at the hospital had gotten the news from Sam, not him. This one's moderately severe, Tommy hesitantly explains, gesturing to his right ear. But it's gotten a lot better. Last time I went to the doctor, it was down to mild. My other one... He pauses, but Wilbur only gives him a look that says, Go on, I'm listening. So he swallows back the fear of admitting it loud and says, It's profound. Not profound enough that the hearing aid doesn't help me, but I don't know if it's gonna get much better. His voice cracks at the end. It's a rough, ugly sort of crack, the kind you make when you're about to cry, and Tommy instantly clamps his mouth shut. He's not going to cry. Not here. Not in front of Wilbur Soot. He can't break down over silent blinds in his mobile home all alone. He can break down over silent blinds in his mobile home all alone. He can cry to his mother from the corner of a hotel room late at night, but he can't cry in front of Wilbur or the public. He refuses to give them that, especially not after what Wilbur had told him up in the stands, that he was a hazard, that he would break down. He expects Wilbur to laugh, expects Wilbur to, at the very least, point out how odd his voice had sounded. But he doesn't. Instead, his lips turn down and some sort of sympathy, genuine sympathy, sparks in his eyes. That sucks, he says, repeating what Tommy had said earlier. It does. They've made it to the bottom of the stairs. Tommy's sneakers touch down on the ground floor, and a second later he hears Amesy and Purple's voices coming up from behind them. He turns just in time to see Amesy come flying down the stairs, hurtling toward him at a speed even race cars would be jealous of. Innes! We're going down to the beach after practice tomorrow. You want to come? They ask, leaping off the bottom step and practically toppling into him. Tommy turns to Wilbur, wanting to gauge his reaction, but he's already disappeared. walking off toward the field by himself. Sure. I mean, I'd have to talk to Phil first, Tommy stammers. Oh, yeah. Invite Phil too. Invite anyone you want, really. Hey, Soot! Amesy pats his shoulder twice before leaving, heading off into the field after Wilbur. She probably has better luck talking to a wooden pole, but Tommy doesn't tell him that. He watches her go, and by the time he turns back to the hall, Purpled, Foolish, Rambu, and the rest of the racers have all migrated their way downstairs. There's an air about them, an air about the whole stadium today, really, that reminds Tommy of racing day. He can practically hear the crowds cheering, his engine revving, when he feels the combination of nerves and excited energy radiating off all of them. Practice tomorrow? Purpled says, slinging an arm over his shoulder as they walk out into the Florida sun. You ready? Tommy squints at the racetrack around them. Here is where every NASCAR racer starts making it big. Here is where legends are made. Here is the start of the great American race. The energy from the group is infectious. It settles over Tommy's shoulders and melts away whatever leftover tension he'd kept from the interview and from the past few days in general. For just a second, he forgets about his hearing, his wreck, his old chief. He's Tommy Innes. He is driving in his blood, and he is so ready to get back on the road. I'm ready, he says, grinning, and Purple grins back. Woo! End of chapter 5. Now let's look at some fan art. Shout out to Ambrose Darling. Am I following you? Now I am. This is how I found the fic. I found the fic through this. Someone had retweeted it. Yeah, back in September. Oh my gosh, it's been that long. Reading voice impressive. Thank you. Yo, first time chatter. Kristinoatic. Sorry if I butchered that. You have a really nice reading voice. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. I'm still obsessed with the art. I am too. Oh my goodness. This is how I found it. And then Nellie's. Yeah, Nellie. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Nellie. Nellie Game Huntress. I'm friends with her. We went to TwitchCon together, as well as Dallas, when me and my friends met up for the first time. Tommy Innes. Look at my boy, Tommy Innes. And then, of course, our very own beloved Danny Art Online. I remember her sending me, like, different versions of the poster. And I was like, I like this one. Also, I do have your playlist saved. Kat, I have your NASCAR playlist saved. Yo, Kristen, thank you so much for the hydrate. Alright, chapter 6. Yes. Is this the chapter that I think it is? Hold on. I just need to check. Yes! Yes, it is! Oh my gosh! Guys, I love this chapter so much. Guys. Yes, that place was my vibe during final last week. Slay! Guys. I need the motivation, as you should. Oh my god. Excuse me. Oh my god. Who is typing in screenshots? What is that? What is this? I don't know what that is. You have googly eyes on your mic? Yes, I do!
Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Juliberry.
Okay. I love this chapter so much. This was the chapter that Danny read to me while I was driving back from Austin to my home, to my college city, after I had popped my tire that morning. And so I popped my tire at like 5 in the morning, and I had to call my aunt because she was the closest relative. And I was on the road, and so Danny called me like through my number, not through like Discord. I popped my tire. Yeah, I popped my tire. Cat, it was like a whole thing. There's a picture of it on my Twitter from coming home. I popped their tire driving back to school too. Oh my goodness. Literally just came back from Houston, lol. Oh my goodness. Slay. And so I can't read and drive at the same time. So I was like, oh, like I haven't read the new chapter yet. She's like, I love this chapter so much. Like, I'm gonna read it to you right now. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm driving. She's reading to me. And like all this stuff is like going down. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm so nervous for like race day now. So I love this chapter a lot. All right. Chapter 6. He pulls his helmet on, and Techno's voice fills his ears. He must have snagged a pair of headphones from the pits. Drive fast, but safe. You hear me? Yeah, Tommy says, clicking his seatbelt on and connecting the Hans device to his helmet. I got it, Techno. There's a soft snort through the radio, and then, I know you do. Go get him, kid. Bedrock Bros! Bedrock Bros! Practice for Daytona Speedway is a standalone of 50 minutes, which realistically is much longer than practice anywhere else. But it goes by quick. 1 second, Tommy is wheeling onto the track with Phil in his ear, asking how everything's flowing and how the track looks out there. And the next, he's making his final lap before practice ends. Practice is different from qualifying. In qualifying, the road is yours for the taking. Each driver gets 1 lap around the track, and no one's out there for you to compete with. It's just you, your car, and the clock. Practice is different. In practice, everyone is on the road, but they're spaced out enough to where there's minimal risk. Up ahead, Tommy can see Purple trying to practice a draft off of Foolish. Behind him, he knows Amesy is hot on his tail, trying to test the limits of their car's speed. As for himself, he's content to take the last lap nice and easy. What the muffin? My thing is blowing up. Oh. Hold on. Danny's making fun of me. Sorry. Oh my god. Yeah, she's making fun of me. Anyways. Wilbur Soot was wrong. Tommy's not anxious about driving on a track with other cars. In fact, it feels as natural as breathing to be back following a single bumper around the speedway. Of course, during an actual race, it would be much more intense than this. Instead of seeing Purple and Foolish meters ahead, he'd probably be right alongside them, trapped in the herd. Instead of following 1 bumper from a comfortable distance, he'd be pressed up against 20, either drafting off of them or taking a corner 3 wide. Practice was for the car, to make sure everything was running as smoothly as possible, and to get familiar with the track's feel. Racing was for the gold. Racing was what you saved your risks for. Looking good, Tommy, Techno says through his helmet speakers, and Tommy hums back in agreement. You've got Amesy on your tail, but she's still pretty far back, so it's drafting just behind her. Of course he is, Tommy mutters to himself. He eases on the throttle, making his final turn before accelerating down toward pit road. What'd you say? Nothing. Coming in now. Got it. Watch your... Soot just slingshotted around Amesy on that bend. Took it way faster than them. He's coming to pass you now. What? Where? Highline. Fuck. Tommy presses hard on the gas, but pit road is approaching, and there's only so much speed he can put on before he has to slow down Whoa, hold on. Daddy, what the fuck? Sorry, she's like sending me reactions to the TikToks I've sent her, and it's so funny, bro. I'll have to send that one to the Discord or something, because it's so funny and relatable. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Danny has all my attention 24/7. Tommy presses hard on the gas, but pit road is approaching, and there's only so much speed he can put on before he has to slow to safely pull into it. Wilbur apparently isn't concerned with pit speed. He whizzes around Tommy, expertly sliding past him before taking the turn into pit road. Tommy can only watch in stunned silence as Wilbur somehow managed to gracefully slow himself just enough to pull in behind Foolish, slotting in like he was always meant to be there. "How the fuck did he just do that?" Tommy says, rolling up behind Wilbur and following him into pit road. "He found the right line and used it to get around Amesy," Techno replies. "Took that corner way faster, then pounded on the gas and used the high line to pass you, I guess. Went full throttle." That's the title of the fic! Oh my god! BFF goals. Yeah. I'm gonna send Danny that. Can't just send BFF. That's risky as fuck, considering we had to turn into pit road right after. I know. I don't know how he pulled it off, but I guess that's what happens when you hold the fastest lap record for a track. He knows his way around here. Tommy groans and tilts his head back. Ugh. Shit. Don't worry, kid. It's only practice. And your lap times were still good. You did really well. Like, really, really well. Especially since it's your first time at Daytona. Tommy drums his fingers nervously against the steering wheel. Sure, Wilbur definitely had the advantage of having raced here before, but Tommy could have done better. He could have blocked his pass or sped up just a little faster. He could have done what Wilbur did and kept the throttle down until the second before he hit pit road. I need to see Dadza, bro. Dadza's here. He's not like a main character. He's Tommy's chief, though. He has his moments. And Cat has some one-shots coming out later. But if you ever need any Angel Duo fix, I have a Discord that you can join where I will send stuff. So join my Discord if you dare. Huh? What is this? What is this? Oh my god, stop this. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Oh, yeah, I got a Discord. I have lots of Angel Duo, like, fanfic recs. This is such a good fic. So, yeah. Okay. As he pulls up to his garage, parks, and unbuckles himself, he mentally prepares for the worst. What if Phil's mad? It's only practice, sure, but this is setting him up for qualifying, for the race. His old chief always said practice was like a precursor. If you can't do well in practice, it's doubtful you'll do well in anything else. Tommy pulls down the netting and pushes himself out the window. The second both his feet are outside the vehicle, Phil is there, high-fiving him. Tubbo exits the garage, jogging over to take Tommy's helmet and offer a fist bump. "That was a sick run," he says, eyes bright and hair wild. "I think we could lower the car a little bit more without scraping it. But besides that, it's minor touch-up before qualifying tomorrow. And the big race." Phil bobs his head in agreement. "You drove great, Tommy. Even in the wind this morning, you kept really steady control of the car. You're going to do amazing during qualifying." He sounds so sincere. And he's smiling. Tommy's old chief was rarely smiling, but Phil does it all the time. Like it's easy. Like extending that small form of reassurance to Tommy is nothing. Like Tommy deserves it. Phil's hand reaches up to ruffle Tommy's hair, and Tommy's shoulders sink with a relieved exhale. "Oh, thank you," he says quietly. "You're welcome. And Techno's asking me to tell you that Soot's getting utterly obliterated on Sunday." Phil pushes one side of the headphones back into place, frowning, and Tommy laughs. "Yeah? What about tomorrow at qualifying?" Phil pauses a moment, then rolls his eyes with a chuckle. "He says you can't beat him tomorrow because he needs at least a tiny ray of hope before you annihilate him." You're gonna give him false hope? Tubbo quips from where he's peering under Clementine's tires, probably already calculating how much lower he can make the car. That's brutal. Hey, Tommy. Wilbur rolls around, back toward the road. 2 garages down, he can see Wilbur waving at him. He's propped against his bright blue Lovejoy car, helmet under his arm, and a bright beaming smile on his face. Oh. Violet's Flowers, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream, love. Hope you're having a good day, night, evening, whatever your time zone may be. We're reading SBI fanfiction. This fic makes me want to steal my brother's... Oh! Don't do illegal things, Jenny, please. This fic is so fun, though. I like driving a lot. Tommy doesn't think he's ever seen Wilbur smile like that. Distantly, he wonders if this was his first real time back on an official speedway. Surely he's practiced on other courses before coming here and racing again, but Daytona was special. Daytona was huge. Racing here felt like racing on Cloud 9, at least for Tommy. He'd peeled out onto the asphalt for the first lap of practice and laughed because, holy shit, this place was surreal. Do it with an accent, they'll never know it's you. Yes, pretend to be Scottish or something while doing illegal drag racing. Street racing, yeah. I'm wearing a kilt and I'm pushing on the gas. I go vroom. I'm silly. Whatever Wilbur is feeling, it's obviously not the reason he'd waved Tommy down. As soon as their eyes lock, Wilbur raises his free hand to his forehead in a fist. Dumb. ASS, Tommy automatically finger spells back. Wilbur's grin only widens, and Tommy shakes his head before turning away. What was that? Phil asks, glancing curiously between Tommy and the hand he'd used to spell. Oh! Tommy flushes red, quickly dropping his hand to his side. It's nothing. A corner of Phil's mouth quirks up like he's about to interject. But Tommy turns away before he can. He doesn't want anyone on his crew asking. He doesn't want them to know. He's only learning ASL to mess with Wilbur, not because of anything related to his own hearing loss. He doesn't want them to see him using sign and presume that he needs to be replaced because his hearing is going. It's not going. In fact, his right ear is basically healed. Sounds are only the tiniest bit fuzzy when they're far away now. And his left ear doesn't matter. He goes back to see a doctor one last time right before qualifying, and then he should be off the hook unless something big comes up. He'll wear his aids and keep protective headphones on around busy tracks. And maybe it won't heal all the way, but it'll at least get a little better. It's fine. Let's go inside. I want to see that last lap replayed really quick, Tommy says, hoping to change the subject. If Teal were here, they could do their American accents because they're so British. Oh my god. That's funny. That's funny, bro. Lucky for him, Phil doesn't ask again. Around 3 o'clock, Purpled and Tubbo drag Tommy away from his race simulator and into Purpled's tiny forest green rental car. Hey, stop shoving me, man! What the fuck? Tommy splutters just before a pair of neon red swim trunks hit him in the face. Tubbo, the perpetrator, snickers from the front passenger seat. Purple sighs and twists the key into the ignition. Buckle up. Please keep all arms, legs, and additional limbs inside the vehicle, he directs robotically as Tommy struggles to shove down the pile of multicolored pool noodles and boogie boards crowding the back seat. Holy crap. When had Purple gotten all of these? No fighting, no screaming, no kicking the seats. Got it? Got it. Good. The car is thrown into reverse, and both Tommy and Tubbo shriek as Purple accelerates out of the parking spot. He pauses momentarily, then throws it back into drive, whips around the corner of the Daytona Speedway lot, and pulls up to the main road. All races are required to have a driver's license, right? Tubbo squeaks out, already clutching the handlebar above his head. Tommy frantically nods from the back seat. Yes, yeah, I don't know. I think so. I have one, but Purple, please don't please don't kill us right before the biggest race of my life. Purple laughs. To Daytona Beach, he shouts, and Tommy has a singular split second of preparation before the tiny little green car hurtles out into traffic. Let's go to the beach. Nicki Minaj. Danny, it's the beach episode. Danny, I'm reading the beach episode. What the Oh, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What is this? Did my sister win an award? What is that? Oh my god! Yo! The metallic beat goes under that. It was just a TikTok sound. Please. Just came back, checked out the server. Super cool, my dude. Hey, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked this server. I decorated it myself. Yo, Mercy Not Found. Hello. Welcome. The beach episode I've been waiting for since episode for 5 years. Danny, I'm reading the beach episode chapter. The FT, I should probably signify that. Finally a beach party? Yeah! Beach party! Shout out to the Tommy's never happening beach party during exile. But don't worry, guys. This is better than see Tommy's beach party. Ouch. Sorry. Too soon. I'm out of Dr. Pepper now. Where's my dancing emoji? Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. There we go. Slay. Okay. Somehow, they make it to Daytona Beach alive and all in one piece. They pile out onto the sand, and then Purple leads them to the seafront where Amesy, Rambu, and Foolish are already waiting. Some of the other racers are there too. Tommy easily spots Carl Jacobs seashell hunting on the beach, and George Founder is absolutely covered in sand where he sits, intricately building a sandcastle with Quackity. Purple marches them over to Amesy's spot and drops his load of pool noodles, boogie boards, and plastic goggles down onto the sand. Why the fuck did you bring pool noodles? Amesy asks, laughing and picking up a neon purple one. It's way too cold to go in the ocean. Okay, but they're fun, and it's not that cold. You're wearing a hoodie. Purple tugs at the purple strings on his hoodie and decidedly does not reply. Instead, he drops down to one of the towels spread across the sand and asks, "Where's everyone else? Dream? Sapnap?" You read nice. Good. Oh, thank you so much, General Buddy Bear. First, wait, 1 a.m. and you're on my recommended, so I join. Whose noodles? They're pool noodles and purpled. It's purpled. Hello, first time chatter. It's Meta X Invasion, and thank you for the follow. And thank you for the follow, General Buddy Bear. Hope you guys are having a good day, night, evening, whatever your time zone may be. We're currently reading Full Throttle, chapter 6. Right? Yes. By Cat Ocean. So support the author. Leave kudos. It's like the beach episode of the fic. I'm so excited. But I hope you guys are having a good night. Where did I leave off? Alright, I'll read this part here. Purple tugs at the purple strings of his hoodie and decidedly does not reply. Instead, he drops down to one of the towels spread across the sand and asks, "Where's everyone else? Dream? Sapnap?" Foolish waves a hand lazily down at the beachfront. "They went that way. Something about wanting to go on a run." "I'm surprised you didn't join them, Mr. Athlete." "Nah, I went on my run this morning. I like the solid track better than sand." "Oh, look, there they are." Foolish shields his eyes against the sun, squinting down the beach to their right, and Tommy follows his gaze to see Sapnap and Dream running back their direction. He hasn't seen either of them at all these past few days at the track. They hadn't been at any of the press events he'd attended, and they weren't in his practice group either. The last time he'd seen them, actually, was at Auto Club Speedway, right before he'd crashed. He'd received dozens of messages from Sapnap after that, bucketfuls of apologies for nudging him and sending him careening into that wreck. Of course, Tommy waved them all off. It wasn't Sapnap's fault. It was his fault for not listening to Phil. His fault for forgetting that he wasn't the only one who could play risky out on the track. He pushed too far and suffered the consequence for it. Still, the sight of Sapnap running toward them makes him subconsciously raise a hand to his left hearing aid. "Hey guys, look who we found," Dream shouts, waving to them as he and Sapnap come closer. And that's the moment Tommy realizes they aren't alone. Behind them, a third jogger is trailing, bushy brown hair flopping in the wind, and silver glasses catching the sunlight. Tommy would recognize those anywhere. Wilbur Soot. No fucking way. "Yo, hello, Juicy. Good afternoon." It's actually the evening here. But I hope you're having a good afternoon as well. Welcome to the stream. "I didn't think you'd want to come," Tubbo says, giving his voice to the thoughts in Tommy's head. Wilbur, like the rest of them, isn't dressed in swim clothes. He's in sweatpants and a hoodie, hands stuffed into the pockets as he effortlessly jogs along. "Wilbur Soot," Foolish greets, beaming from his place sprawled out on a towel. "I didn't get a chance to tell you how insane practice with you was this morning. You took turn 2 wicked fast." Wilbur grins a little and ducks his head. "Thanks. I know this track pretty well." "No kidding. You led like half the laps, more than half." "You cut me off going into the pits," Tommy grumbles, and he doesn't think he's imagining the way Wilbur's grin widens ever so slightly. "Cocky bastard." "I passed you, you mean?" Tommy presses a B sign to his chin, scowling, and Wilbur rolls his eyes. "I'm gonna go down to the water. Want to come with?" Tubbo asks, oblivious to he and Wilbur's silent communication. Tommy nods, grateful for the escape, and follows Tubbo, Rambu, and Amesy down to the tide. "I'm doing good, thank you for asking. We're just chilling out, reading some SBI fanfiction. So I hope you just sit back, relax, curl up in bed, whatever you're doing." Wilbur is everywhere. He is! He just appears. He manifested. His location manifested. Wilbur's a metaphysical presence, a state of mind, if you will. I love that. Yes. "Julie, what's your state of mind?" "Wilbur Soot." The tide is low, which is good, because even the thin layer of water puddling across the sand surface is freezing cold. The beach in February really isn't the place to be, but it's still pretty. Plus, there are seashells. Oh my goodness, 6 a.m.? Well, good morning to you. Wilbur is my state of mind every day. It's every day. What the muffin? Fortunately, for work early and must leave. Enjoyed the story. Thank you for reading. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Chris. I hope you have a good rest of your night too. Have a good time at work. I hope you make lots of money. You slayed. Our Christmas cards came in. Yes. Oh, stop. We're cute. Yes. Cutie. Amazing. I'm gonna send Danny one of my family's Christmas cards. Why does water taste good? Maybe because you haven't had it in a while. Alright. Plus, there are seashells. Tommy watches Tubbo bend to dig up a sand dollar and tries to ignore the steadily building rush of wind in his ears. Further up the beach where Amesy, Foolish, and Purpled had sprawled, the wind hadn't been so bad. He could easily listen to Wilbur and Foolish's conversation, and the quick, witty banter between Purpled and Amesy. Down here, though, they were much closer to the sea, and the sea was loud. Every 5 seconds a new wave crashed down, and even though his aids were supposed to be wind-canceling, it took them a second too long to catch each gust and filter out. It was annoying, distracting, and he could tell if he didn't do something about it soon, he'd wind up going home with a headache. Oh, hello, Star B. If you're feeling I won't have any context, yeah, we're going through chapter 6 right now. But I have a VODs channel with chapters 1 through 4 uploaded right now if you want to get caught up. I like water, but I forget to drink it. That's such a mood, though. I'm also a water fan. Any fellow water enjoyers? Let's get some hearts in the chat for the water, am I right? You should all drink water right now. Do it. Do it. Yo, Lemon! What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Coffee for life. Coffee makes me tired. What's the plot about? It's an SBI Crime Boys centric racing fanfic. And also hard of hearing Crime Boys as well. That's hard to beat. Coffee makes me tired, though. Caffeine makes me tired. Yo, Mercy, hi! What's going on, loves? I'm glad y'all are here. And energy drinks. Okay, I can get with energy drinks. Alright. Oh, man. Tommy's hearing aids are not picking up some of the words. Look, well, Tommy blinks, tearing his attention off the noise and looking back down at Tubbo. His feet are sinking into wet sand where he's crouched over, poking at a tiny shell that's half buried. Tubbo, I can't... Look! Tubbo pokes at the shell one last time, and Tommy gasps as it suddenly sprouts limbs! Tiny orange crab legs scuttle across the sand surface, carrying the shell down toward the water and away from Tubbo's hovering form. Shit! Tubbo hisses, taking off after it. The little crab is fast, though. He evades Tubbo's hands with a series of intricate swerves and dodges that Tommy would love to be able to pull off on the track, and scrambles back into the ocean just in time for the freezing tide to sweep over Tubbo's ankles. Holy mother of... The rest of Tubbo's exclamation is cut short by another gust of wind interfering with Tommy's aids. He reaches up to cover the microphones, wincing, and that's when the hand lands on his shoulder. You know you can take those off, right? Mother of Twitch Prime! Tommy gasps, jerking his shoulder away from the person's grasp and stumbling to the side. He turns, and sure enough, there stands Wilbur in all of his 6'5" glory, grinning in a way that immediately makes Tommy bristle. You can't just sneak up on a person like that, especially someone who can't fucking hear more than 2 feet in front of them. A wave crashes again, but Wilbur is close enough that his voice bleeds through. Take them out. They're just annoying on the beach. Trust me. You have yours in. Tommy trails off as he realizes Wilbur does not, in fact, have his aid on. The shiny, transparent piece of plastic is gone. How can you understand me? Wilbur shrugs after a moment. Lip reading. Told it to myself after breaking my aid at once, which, by the way, you're about to do if that gets in the water or clogged with sand. A good thing I don't intend on doing either. Oh yeah? Tommy nods decisively. Another wave hits the beach, and Wilbur's next words are cut off by the loud rushing in his ears. Fuck. It really is annoying. Or maybe overwhelming is more accurate. It feels like information overload, trying to keep up with people speaking while the wind and sea are both clamoring for his attention. And he can't even choose to block it out, which is weird. He's never had to worry about choosing sounds before, but now that ability is gone. He realizes it's something he's taken for granted his whole life. He'd rather have an overwhelming amount of scattered noise than not enough, though. If he takes off his aids, his whole world will be reduced to muted quiet, at least in one ear. It's disorienting and scary. It makes his chest clench tight with panic, not being able to hear like he used to. Plus, it's just another reminder of how badly he fucked up. Scaredy cat. It takes him a second to realize Wilbur had spoken. What did you just say to me? Scaredy cat. Tommy scowls, and Wilbur's grin only spreads. I bet you won't get in the water, he says. Yo, Catlatch, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hello. We're reading fanfiction. Why do I keep saying it like that? Like I'm French. Fanfiction. It's fanfiction. I bet you won't get in the water, he says. The water's fucking freezing. Of course I won't. Coward. It's cold and I'm in normal clothes. You have swim trunks on. Yeah, because Tubbo made me. And if Tubbo tells you to do something, you do it. Chicken. I don't see you getting in either. Oh yeah? As Wilbur speaks, he starts backing away toward the water, eyes glinting. Watch me. Tommy glares as Wilbur backs into the wet sand, then further, until the tide reaches up and wraps around his ankles. Even then, he keeps walking. When he's waist high in the frigid sea, he turns back and raises a hand to his chin. Bitch. Really, it's not the fact that he'd walked all the way into the ocean. Hold on. Do you have shiny things? I do have shiny things. I have a jar of glitter. Look at it. It's so shiny. Woo! You want my glitter? Shiny. It's sparkly. And also, hi Alec. Hello, hello. I also have, this is kind of shiny too. It's my Technoblade crown sword necklace. It's very shiny. Star B, thank you so much for the follow. It's very shiny. Look at it, it's gold and silver. Oh my goodness, y'all are going ballistic. Oh my god. Should I just have more shiny things on hand for you lot? That one scene from Moana is quaking right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my darling, about me. I across the horizon to find you. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not a real crime space fic if Tommy and Wilbur aren't fighting or teasing each other. So real. So real. And Alec, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a lovely day, night, evening, whatever your time zone may be. So glad you guys like that shiny stuff. So shiny. Give us shiny. Should I make a channel like rewards thing for shiny moments? I'll do that after stream. I'll make a thing, and we'll have like days of you can request it and it'll be like a little reward. Yes? Okay. I will do that. Hold on. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that after stream. Yes, please. Okay. But welcome new people. We've been getting some follows throughout the stream, so please feel free to join my Discord. And thank you, Streamlabs. Follow me on TikTok as well. I got socials. My name's Juliberry. I play Minecraft and Valorant, and I read fanfiction to my chat. Thank you for the support. Okay. Really, it's not the fact that he'd walked all the way into the ocean to prove a point that gets to Tommy. It's the fact that he's grinning the same way he always does when he's won something. When he'd met Tommy in the bleachers and gotten his chair back. When he'd called Tommy a nincompoop, whatever the hell that meant. When he'd pulled in front of Tommy heading into the pits. And waved him down after purely to gloat. That was Wilbur's winning smile. And Tommy wanted to wipe it right off his stupid, annoying face. He's taking his aids off before he really thinks about it. Tubbo's on his way back up the beach, having lost the crab. and Tommy shoves them into his hands without asking if he can take them. Tubbo says something in response, but he's on Tommy's left side, and the whole world's gone muffled around him. So he just mutters out an, "I'll be back," before stomping off toward the water. The second the tide hits his skin, he's shivering, but the prickling irritation forces him to keep going, like a dart heading straight for its target. He stomps through the waves to get to Wilbur's side, or nearly to Wilbur's side. Wilbur's waist deep is not the same as Tommy's waist deep. Youdidit. You did it, Wilbur signs. Patronizing me. Are you patronizing me? Wilbur waves his hand, wishy-washy, but his eyes glitter humorously. Fuck you, bitch, Tommy signs. He's become quite an expert of that particular phrase. Then he continues, "It's cold." Wilbur's eyebrows raise. "You no more sign?" Luckily, the cold has already stained Tommy's chinks pink. He doubts Wilbur can pick out the flush that heats under his cheeks. BASICS. Basics. Wilbur thinks for a second, and Tommy turns his attention back toward the shore. Tubbo has migrated back to where Purpled, Amesy, and Rombu are standing, hunting for shells in the dampened sand. Dream and Sapnap are further up the beach with George, and Foolish has joined them to make some sort of sandcastle that really doesn't look like a sandcastle at all, more like a lopsided igloo. It's just him and Wilbur who are stupid enough to stand out in the ocean. Tommy! The thing about waves is, they're relatively silent before the crash. Oh, wait. I know what's about to happen. Oh my god, hold on to your seats. Hold on to your I don't know, pillow pets? What? Tommy! The thing about waves is, they're relatively silent before they crash. Tommy's already at a disadvantage. What with his aids being gone and his hearing unevenly distributed between his two ears, so he doesn't hear it coming. He doesn't realize the water behind him has begun to build until it crashes down in an icy white spray, slamming into his back and sending him tumbling into the sea. He accidentally swallows a mouthful of salt water on the way down and chokes on it under the water as he scrambles for the surface. He knows it's not far, but he can't get his feet back under himself, and the moment he finally does manage to dig his toes into the slippery sand, another wave rolls over his head and pushes him back down. It's fucking freezing. He can't breathe, and it's cold, and while one ear is being pummeled with rushing water, the other can barely hear it. He manages to dig his hands into the sand and get his feet under himself, but before he can stand up, another hand grabs the back of his shirt and yanks. Tommy bursts out of the water, choking and sputtering, and Wilbur's death grip moves to his arm and pulls him closer. Hi, Rosie. We're reading Full Throttle. It's in the title of the stream, love. Tommy bursts out of the waves, choking and sputtering, and Wilbur's death grip moves to his arm and pulls him closer. Oh no, you're fine, Rosie. Welcome, welcome. Hold on. Are you okay? Wilbur shouts on his good side. What the fuck? Tommy splutters out. He rubs the salt water out of his eyes, instinctively stumbling into Wilbur's side. I tried to warn you, Wilbur says, rubbing his shoulder up and down as the ice-cold water drips from his sleeves. You weren't looking, though, and it came down so fast. Fuck, are you actually okay? Maybe it's to stave off some of the embarrassment. Maybe it's because he's cold as fuck, and laughing seems like it'd warm him up faster than shivering. Maybe he's just never heard Wilbur sound so concerned before. And it was all because he hadn't been paying attention to his surroundings. Something his old chief had harped on him for again and again and again. Whatever the reason, a laugh bubbles up and escapes from Tommy's chest, and then he can't stop. He giggles, bending over to wrap his arms around his stomach, and even when Wilbur's hand slips away from his shoulder, he can't force them to end. He laughs and giggles and wheezes until Wilbur's laughing with him, and then until another wave comes up and hits them both in the back. Wilbur gasps, cold water dripping down his back, and Tommy laughs louder. That's what you get, prick. He stutters out between giggles. Hope you have a good. Thank you so much, Rosie. Have a good rest of your night, love. I'm glad you get to pop in for at least like a minute. It's always lovely to see you. Wilbur tries to wring the hem of his shirt out, but it's pointless. At that point, they're both soaked. We should head back, Wilbur says. You're gonna get hypothermia, and I don't want that on my hands. Too late, bitch. Tommy raises a hand to his chin, grinning, and for the first time, Wilbur smiles back. Genuinely smiles. Something almost soft smooths over his features, wiping away the traces of arrogance Tommy's so used to saying. Oh. I'm happy because you're... what? Hello, Clay. Something almost soft smooths over his features, wiping away the traces of arrogance Tommy's so used to saying. And for a second, it gives him pause. For a second, he thinks, maybe Wilbur isn't so bad. Then Wilbur mimes patting the empty air next to him, the sign for child, and the Wilbur soot that Tommy knows and despises is back. Tommy shoves his arm so hard he goes tumbling into the water, and Tommy laughs until he can't breathe again. If he gets hypothermia, at least they're both getting hypothermia. Oh my god, I love that part so much. I love that part so much. Fun fact, when Danny was reading this section to me, before Wilbur pulled him out of the water, she was like, I have to go do something, and left me on a cliffhanger, and I just sat there. I'm like, Tommy's under the water, what's gonna happen? And then she came back. No. Yeah. She likes to torture me. Ugh. It was very funny. And you know what she did? She laughed at me. She laughed at me. Danny is foul for that. I know. She was like, I did that on purpose. I said, oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Do 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 do. Oh, bro, I thought Tommy was gonna end up in the hospital again. That's what they all think. Aw. Everyone's doing their cute little intros in my Discord. I love it when people do that. Okay. Alright, ka-chunk. Next section. Neither of them get hypothermia. Neither of them get sick either. Which is a surprise. That is a surprise. Because you know what I did one time? I went to Galveston for Christmas one time as a wee lass. And then I went into the cold, cold ocean. And I got sick. It was not fun. Because I spent Christmas sick. So, Galveston. Yep. And then the beach house that me and my family stayed at got destroyed in the hurricane. Galveston water's disgusting though. Yeah, it is. I just remember throwing a fit because I loved hanging out I loved playing in the water. And my dad threw me over his shoulder and there's an image of me crying. I'm this little like 6-year-old, maybe even 5, I don't know. I was young in my little one-piece American flag bathing suit. Ugh. Oh my gosh, why y'all spamming me with L's? This is why I need, guys, the only reason I'm gonna do a subathon is so I can get more emote slots. Have you been to the spot? Nope. I don't think I have been to the spot. I need a subathon so that I can get more emote slots because I want an emote of me going with like the L. I need an L emote, guys. Because you can't spell Juliberry without L. L. I have school in 8.5 hours, but I have a paper due in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Bro, get your paper done. What you doing? That is true. Mm-hmm. My entire family is talking about Christmas card photos, and I am busy reading fan fiction. I got my priorities straight. Alright, let's get back to the reading. We're about halfway through this chapter, so we can be done under 2 hours. Neither of them get hypothermia. Neither of them get sick either, which is a surprise. Phil had reamed him out for... Oh, reamed! Phil had reamed him out for getting in the water when the temperature outside was a whopping 67 degrees. But Tommy could tell he wasn't really mad. There was a look on Phil's face that doesn't match Tommy's ex-chief's. It's too soft, too gentle. If anything, he'd be worried. They're different from his old crew. All of them are. He comes home with Tubbo in Purple's car. They blast Mamma Mia out the windows and scream lyrics into their lungs are hoarse. And when Tommy finally falls into his bed afterward, he thinks about how he'd never done that with anyone else before. He'd never had someone willing. I headcanon that they were screaming Chiquitita. Chiquitita, you and I cry. So that's Danny's favorite song. And she made me learn to love it too, because it's just the best. We got an essay due in a few hours. I feel you, dog. What are y'all doing here? Go do your essays. Go do your essays. I love ABBA. ABBA's the freaking best. He practices on the simulator with Phil and Techno sitting behind him. But instead of feeling pressure to get every virtual turn exactly right, he relaxes under hands that ruffle his hair approvingly and words that tell him, that's all right. What if you tried it this way next time? What is it? Bro, 67 is warm. I called myself out as a southerner there. Real. I need auditory stimuli to be able to focus. Also adore ABBA. Real. No, we want to read SBI fanfic? Okay. I'll keep doing it then. I keep getting distracted by the reading. I love it when people chat in the chat though. I love to engage with you guys. Do drugs, stay out of school. I do healthy drugs and stay in school. Can't I do both? Look at me go. Yes, more SBI. Bro, then y'all should check out my YouTube. I read The Golden Phoenix. With Kitsage. In my defense, the water would be cooler than that then. Right. I guess. Galveston water is pretty chilly. And I went in December. He practices on the simulator with Phil and Techno sitting behind him, but instead of feeling pressure to get every virtual turn exactly right, he relaxes under hands that ruffle his hair approvingly and words that tell him, that's all right. What if you tried it this way instead next time? He comes back from his final doctor's appointment the next morning with tears in his eyes, and as soon as he steps through the trailer door, he's enveloped in a breath-stealing hug by all three of them. What happened? Phil asked. What they say? Tubbo says, anxiously squishing him tighter. You don't actually have to tell us, kid. Techno reassures us. Reassures? Wow, why did I... You don't actually have to tell us, kid. Techno reassures, unless you want to. He shudders into their hold and tells them his right ear's nearly healed and won't need the aid again after this race. His left is never making it past 30%. It's never getting any better than it currently is. It's not a big deal, he tries to explain as Phil squeezes him tighter to his chest. It's not. I don't know why I'm so upset about it. I can still hear, for the most part. It could be worse. He sniffles, and the group hug condenses, drawing tight around him. You know, you don't always need a reason for feeling the way you do, Phil says, running a gentle hand through his hair. Sometimes feelings just happen. And sometimes this was a part of you that you lost. You're allowed to be upset over that. It's okay to be sad. They stay there for a few more minutes, wrapped in a tangle of arms, until Tommy gets embarrassed and wiggles out of their hold. He spouts some excuse about going to rewatch one of the old Daytona 500 qualifying matches, then slips away to his room to ruminate on the fact that never, not in his whole racing career, has he felt so loved by his team as he does now. He's not worth it. He's a fuck up, a failure, and he's going to disappoint them. He doesn't want it to end. Ow. Ow. The stadium lights are just starting to buzz to life when qualifying begins. All the cars have been lined up on the outskirts of pit road, their paint glistening under the track's bright white lights and the staccato flash of cameras. It's loud. Yo, Ellie! Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. It's loud, mostly because there are so many people, crews, drivers, and reporters alike, crowded in the road behind Tommy, all making last-minute fixes, going over strategy, or taking interviews. It's an atmosphere so close to the atmosphere of race day that it makes Tommy jittery. Adrenaline building as he waits his turn. Qualifying is split into 2 rounds. In the first round, all 43 cars run a single lap, one by one, to compete for the fastest times. The top 10 racers from that round move on to round 2, where they each run a single lap again. Whoever has the fastest time in that round wins pole position. Tommy is lined up to go 15th, right after Rambo makes his lap around the track. It's a good position. He decides because it gives him time to survey the other racers' times and get a sense of where he's going to have to be in order to move up to round 2. But not too much time to the point where he starts overthinking it. It also lets him watch Wilbur Soot, who's going 10th. He stands behind Clementine, leaning over the hood and watching his dream whizzes past first. He gets a close time, only 49.811 seconds for a full lap. Definitely quick enough to move up to the next round. But Tommy had expected that. Dream was nothing if not one of the fastest on the track. Quackity follows him, making a 50.408 second time. Yeah, I am reading these numbers right. Okay. Then Sapnap, then George. Everyone's doing pretty well, but their times don't scare Tommy. He knows he can go faster. You're doing maths in your head again. Tommy blinks, yanking his attention off the track and turning to look at Tubbo. At some point, he'd snuck up alongside him and leaned against Clementine's hood to watch qualifying play out. Tommy has no clue when, though.
Fuck's sake, Tubbo, you can't just materialize places. Did you know that?
What can I say? I like to keep you on your toes. It's one of my many skills. Tommy leans over to elbow Tubbo's arm, and Tubbo laughs. How's Clementine?
All good. Oh no, he's saying that. How's Clementine? All good. Waiting for you to get in and drive her. Good. Because there's literally nothing else I would rather be doing right now.
Tubbo hums. Sorry, my lips are dry. Tubbo hums, and they lapse back into silence as the next racer is announced. Purpled. Hello? Sorry, something was like beeping in my head. There's no way Purpled doesn't qualify. Tommy thinks to himself, biting down on the drink water. Okay. If you insist. Hydrate. Okay. Oh, and we got the hydrate. Thank you, sad teen. With insomnia. Is my hydrate emote still a thing? It is! Julie Hydro! Switching to phone to mobile around my door. We're mobile now. Yo! Shout out to the mobile users. I was about to say viewers. I'm like, what the muffin is a viewer? A UFOer. Hold on. I need to check something real quick. Do, 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 do. It sounds like my... Oh, it's just the thingy thing. That's so funny. Do. Okay. Closing this. Sorry about that. Had to check on something. There's no way Purpled doesn't qualify, Tommy thinks to himself, biting down on the inside of his lower lip. Purpled's talented, and he'd done really well in practice. Turns can trip him up sometimes, but he makes up for it by practically flying the rest of the track. Tommy knows all this because he knows Purpled. But also because he's watched him run qualifying laps again and again, time after time, through video recordings in the depth of night when Tubbo was snoring and Tommy was supposed to be asleep. You're doing it again. The maths. Tommy groans, pushing off of Clementine and turning to face the crowd behind them. Pit road is bustling and hectic, like a beehive that's been poked. People are everywhere. Tommy has been avoiding them, for the most part, by keeping to his car, but now he lets his gaze sweep over them, searching for one in particular. It doesn't take long to find him. Wilbur's over by his car, his teal jumpsuit sticking out from the crowd of crewmates and reporters surrounding him like a sore thumb. There's a microphone in his face, but he doesn't look fazed by it. If anything, he looks at ease, as if this sort of attention is part of his everyday routine. Maybe it is.
Think he's gonna set a new record? Top his last one? Tubbo asks.
Tommy shrugs. He crosses his arms, pulling his jacket tighter around himself. During the day, Daytona's surprisingly warm for early February, but at night the chill settles in. He can already feel it turning his nose pink.
Maybe. That'd be pretty sick to watch live, Tubbo continues. He'd have to go like 200 miles per hour.
Tommy fills in for him, leaning against Clementine's side.
That's pretty fucking fast.
Tommy nods, but doesn't respond. The person before Wilbur's just wheeled onto the track, and nervousness had begun to tear at the inside of his edges of his stomach. 200 miles per hour. That's not just pretty fucking fast. That's insanely fucking fast. That's full throttle, at least on this course. The restrictor plates placed on their engines for this track cap out at 200 miles per hour. Wilbur, quite literally, could not go faster if he tried. And if he does go that fast somehow, no one could go faster. He'd have a guaranteed pole. Soot, you're up next, someone shouts, and Tommy watches Wilbur wave the reporters away and climb into his car.
Tommy, you want to start strapping in? You're only 4 cars after him.
Tommy nods and pulls himself up and through Clementine's window, but his eyes don't leave Wilbur's car for a single second. No one's does. It's almost like a reverence, really, how quiet the track goes. Everyone on pit road stops talking to watch Wilbur's car move out toward the tracks, as if it's a procession. Not a funeral procession, though. This time, the silence is not a death silence. It's anticipation. It's been 5 years. 5 years since Wilbur Soot nearly killed himself on a course just like this one. 5 years since the world thought he'd never race again. And yet here he is, back to prove everyone wrong. Wilbur revs his engine, and as if it's a respirator breathing life back into the track, the crowd erupts into cheers. And then he's off. Racing has always sort of been like hypnotism to Tommy. It doesn't matter if he's the one driving or if he's watching from the stands. It captivates him, especially if the racing is good. If Tommy can fall into a rhythm, or if the racer he's watching finds their groove, it's gripping. It's like art in a gritty, inelegant sense of the word. Tommy watches Wilbur hightail it out across the track, and he can't quite look away. Even when Wilbur rounds to the side of the track he can't see, his eyes instinctively go to his rear view camera and wait there for him to come back, which he does, quickly. He only has to wait 20 seconds for the glint of Wilbur's car to reappear behind him, and then 5 seconds later, he's watching out Clementine's right window as Wilbur whizzes past. He drives like a bullet, fast, and headed straight for the target. He uses every inch of track to his advantage. He passes the finish line at 48.360 seconds, and the pit goes wild. Tommy, sitting in Clementine's cockpit, sucks in the first breath of air he's had in 30 seconds. Holy shit. Holy shit. That's not a record-breaking time. It doesn't replace Wilbur's old record on this track, not even close, but it's far better than anyone else has done so far. Far faster than Tommy could ever dream of driving.
Did you see that?
Tubbo asks, leaning down to be on par with Tommy's window. He has to yell to be heard over the screaming pits. Tommy's jaw clicks shut. He hadn't noticed when it fell open.
Yeah. Holy shit, I saw that.
After Wilbur goes, there's 4 cars left before it's Tommy's turn. He watches Rambu drive onto the track last, his electric purple car winking in the stadium lights. He makes it back in 53 seconds, which is fast, but probably not quick enough to move to round 2. Then it's Tommy's turn. "All right, Tommy," Phil says, tapping Clementine's hood. "Ready?"
Always.
He pulls his helmet on, and Techno's voice fills his ears. He must have snagged a pair of headphones from the pits. "Drive fast, but safe. You hear me?"
Yeah.
Tommy says, clicking his seatbelt on and connecting the Hans device to his helmet.
I got it, Techno.
There's a soft snort through the radio, and then, "I know you do. Go get him, kid." Fully strapped in, Tommy slides his hands up to the steering wheel until they're in position. He grips hard, but not too hard. Soft, but not too soft. Enough to tell the car he's in control. Then with Phil's second signal, he takes Clementine out of park and eases himself over to the track. This moment is what 8-year-old Tommy had dreamed of. Pulling out onto Daytona for qualifying, lights winking overhead, hands gripped around the wheel of a car that he trusts. He takes a steady breath, presses the gas pedal down, and suddenly 18-year-old Tommy is off for his first NASCAR Cup Series qualifying match. I love this paragraph so much. Oh my god! I think this is the paragraph that Danny likes too. 8-year-old Tommy, and then 18-year-old Tommy is off. He's going, meow. So fun. Yeah, because you're a freaking talented author, cat. You the best, bro. One of my faves. That's why I hit the subscribe button. Meow. What do we want? Tommy and his driving. When do we want it? Meow. Thank you. I will be here all night. He passes the finish line first. Oh. Yo, Ginger, thank you so much for the lurk. Hope you're doing good, mate. He passes the finish line first, and green light signals the start of his lap. Take it easy on turn 1, Techno advises through his helmet. Remember what we said about giving Soot some hope before annihilating him. Oh, wait. Remember what we said about giving Soot some hope before annihilating him? Tommy snorts, but lets up on the gas just in time to swing around the first corner. He takes it like Techno says, driving wide into the turn before coming out tight and smooth. But as soon as he hits the end of the turn, he presses the gas down and speeds up as fast as he can. He could still beat Soot. It'd take insane skill, but he could do it if he really tried. If he pushed all his hesitations aside. He could practically hear his ex-chief in his ears as he approached turn 2. Push harder. Don't think about it. Just do it. Don't be stingy with the throttle. Let up at the last second. You'll be fine. Come on, kid. You want first, don't you? Because it doesn't seem like it. Oh my god, Sad Teen, thank you for the stretch. Holy shit. Ooh. Wait. Can I pop my back? Oh, I hope you heard that. Ah. Scoliosis. Tommy had always barely made it through those turns, holding on to the snap. The snap crickle pup is back. Yeah, she is. feel like every time someone redeems like a stretch, I am like required to pop something. Like that. Did you do that? Was loud? Tee-hee! Woo! I'm like cereal, but a woman. Anyways, Tommy had always barely made it through those turns, holding onto the wheel for dear life and praying he didn't skid out. But he'd made it. He could make it again. Yo, Zoe Daily, thank you so much for the follow. If there was a Juliberry quote book that's going in it, oh my god. There is a thing called clipping, Cat. You can clip stuff. That's technically a quote book. Also, I could always make a quote book. Yeah, there's a quote book. There's a quote book in the Discord. Oh my gosh. Cat, there's a quote book in the Discord. So guys, if you ever have like funny quote books, funny quotes, you just slap it on in there. Okay. So true. You forgore. How dare you? No, you're fine. You're literally fine. Thank you. I will go back and get it word for word after the stream. Hey. Huh. I just saluted you and then my granny glasses just appeared. Wow. I look like an old lady when I do this. Grandma Berry isn't real. Grandma Berry can't hurt you. Grandma Berry. Alright. But he'd made it, and he can make it again. He speeds up, pushing as hard as he can as the second turn rushes forward to meet him. Phil is in his ear with a warning, telling him to slow down, but Tommy ignores it for now. His hands are tense around the wheel, but he knows he can make this. Watch this, he says just as he hits the turn, last second letting up on the throttle and spinning the wheel. It's weird how normal this feels. The anxiety presses in on his chest as he makes a turn that could very well be his last. And then a second later, he's through it. Already back on straight track. His tires screech in protest, but they don't pop. Nothing gives. He doesn't hit a wall or skid. He makes it. His hands shake as he readjusts his grip on the steering wheel back to normal. And he's sweating under the suit, but he's fine. He did it. And he could do it again. Twice more before the finish line if that's what it takes to prove he's supposed to be here. That he's not a failure, to make up for his last loss. Phil exhales through the mic, as if he'd been holding his breath, and Tommy snaps back to reality. Jesus Christ, Tommy, Phil says. That was impressive, but don't do it again. What? Why not? Because I think I might go into early cardiac arrest if you do. Oldza, Tommy teases. Phil sighs. Your form was sloppy. You're hesitating, which means you're nervous. You don't trust yourself. Just play it safe, okay? It's not worth the risk. Tommy clenches his teeth together. Turn 3 is approaching, and if he wants to follow Phil's advice, he needs to release the gas soon. Tommy. He does. He releases the gas just in time to take the corner smoothly, only pressing down again once he's come out the other side. He takes turn 4 in a similar fashion. Then it's a straight path to the finish line. Now you can gun it, Phil chuckles. And through the headset, Tommy can hear Tubbo whooping in the background. That's all the permission he needs. He presses the throttle down and shoots off toward the finish line. This is driving. There's no racing here. Just a road, the clock, and Clementine's wheels. It's like flying. As soon as he crosses that black and white checkered line, the other end of his radio erupts into cheers. How'd I do? He asks, breathless. 49.822 seconds. You shaved off some good time with that first run. Enough to move to round 2? Well, there's still a ton of races left, but assuming Soot's time stays unmatched, I'd say your chances are good. Really good. You're close to Dream's time,
and he's usually one of the fastest. Tommy taps his fingers anxiously against the wheel, and slows to pull into the pits. He'd done good. His chances were good. Really good, according to Phil. It still doesn't feel good enough. He feels like he could have done better. He could have risked it on those 2 last turns, shaved off even more time, and guaranteed his team a top 10 spot. When he makes it to the pit, he pulls himself out of the car and lets Tubbo fist bump him. Soon after, a reporter sweeps in to ask for an interview, and with a nod from Phil, Tommy goes. Then, with a churning feeling in his stomach, all that's left to do is wait. Woo! Tommy has to stop ignoring his crew. That's what I'm saying, bestie. Like, I know this kid's got trauma. He's got trauma, man. That's why he's just struggling so much. My sister Snapchatted me. Oh, she's with her boyfriend. That's wholesome. I'm streaming and reading fanfiction. I don't have time for relationships anymore. When Tommy's name is announced for the top 10, he nearly throws up. It's his first NASCAR Cup, and he has a shot at pole. He already knows the fans had gone crazy over his turn at turn 2. During the first round, the reporter interviewing him had made it abundantly clear that it was one of the most shocking moves they'd seen from a rookie in a while. But now he's the first rookie since Wilbur Soot to have a chance at taking the pole position. This is huge. Bro, my dad just gave me a Dora Band-Aid and I'm hyped. Dora. Hola, soy Dora. Do you know where Swiper is? Yo, Dora Band-Aid. I got regular Band-Aids. They're not as cool as Dora Band-Aids. Yeah, get him! Tubbo shouts as Tommy shimmies himself back into Clementine and starts buckling up. He's the last to run his lap, but these rounds are going to go by so quick he won't have time to hang around outside. Thanks, Tubbs, Tommy says, forcing a smile around his nerves before pulling his helmet down over his ears. Normal people call it trauma. I call it spicy life experience. Oh my god. I'm using that from now on. That's so funny. That's so perfect. I couldn't describe it in a better way. Beautiful. Incredible. That's swag. It is swag, isn't it? Admittedly, the noise of the pits had been a little overwhelming to manage. At first, it wasn't too bad, but as the competition amped up, so did the amount of noise filtering through his aids. It was starting to give him a headache. So as soon as the helmet's on and the voices outside the car are securely muffled, he leans back in his seat and focuses on just breathing. In and out. Phil usually said to him before a race. It was their routine. In and out. Sam guided him when he was panicking at the hospital, unsure of why he couldn't hear. In and out. His mom had said that night on the phone when he couldn't see through the tears and just wanted to do something right. In and out. Tommy thinks now, and places both hands on the steering wheel. In and out is harder than it sounds. It takes too long and not long enough before it's his turn. Phil taps Clementine's hood twice, letting him know the track is ready for him, and Tommy exhales shakily as he peels himself out of pit road. Ready? Phil asks through the headset. When he doesn't immediately respond, his voice crackles through the speakers again. You okay? I'm fine. He's nervous. What if he fucks us up? What if he can't get pole? Can't make up the last loss for his team, and can't prove that he deserves to be here? His old chief had never settled for anything but the best, but Tommy wasn't the best, and here was where everyone else was going to find that out. What if he fucked up so spectacularly that his team didn't want to work with him anymore? What if... You're overthinking this. Techno butts in over another headset. It's just driving. This isn't a race. I'm racing the clock, aren't I?
The fastest time is Wilbur's, but he lost speed on turn 3 this round. He's at 49.119 seconds. If you want that, you're racing that time. But Tommy, it doesn't matter what position you come in. This is just qualifying. Tommy bites down on his lip, hard, then bobs his head. He's not actually sure he agrees with Techno. He's pretty sure he needs he's pretty sure he needs this to prove something, but he'll be good. He'll listen. Okay, he says, and then he's zipping out onto the course and passing the first green light. Driving is easy. Racing is hard. Tommy takes turn 1 at a sloppier angle than usual, and it's not bad, but it's not as fast as it could have been. He pulls turn 2 quicker and floors the pedal as he heads for turn 3. The clock is ticking in his brain, and he wants to beat it. He has to. He takes turn 3 at a good speed, smoothly, and in Phil's voice in his ear cheering him on finally looses him up enough to power toward turn 4 with much more confidence. He rounds the corner tight before shooting off toward the finish line. He's making good time. He might actually have done it. He crosses the finish line so fast he sees loose gravel scatter at the edges of the track, and then Phil, Techno, Tommy, and the rest of his crew are all cheering in his ear. "How'd I do? What'd I place?" he asks, steering toward the pits. He feels lightheaded, like maybe he forgot to breathe for part of that. "4th!" Phil's voice exclaims back through the headset. "You got 4th, Tommy!" 4th. The word sinks into Tommy's stomach where he'd been nauseous before and sits there, a bubbling pit of dread filled with acid. He'd come 4th. Not 1st, not 2nd, not even 3rd. 4th. Tommy's old chief would have thrown a fit, but only behind closed doors. He would have told him to start practicing daily, with every spare second off being used to get better, train harder, drive faster. He would have told him this is the reason he can never win. He didn't give it his all. He didn't try. Tommy's stomach flip-flops as he pulls into his spot at the pits and gets ready to greet his crew. What is Phil going to tell him? Is he going to make him practice longer? Is he going to be disappointed? He removes his helmet and climbs out the window, preparing for the worst, and is immediately yanked into his team's arms. "You came in 4th, Tommy! 4th!" Phil shouts. When Tommy looks up at him, stunned, his eyes are glowing with excitement and pride. "First Cup Series and you're already in the top 5, kid! Wait, this is Techno. He's not Scottish, British thing. First Cup Series and you're already in the top 5. Kid, you're crazy," Techno adds, ruffling Tommy's hair. Tubbo slams into the hug last, jumping up and down with a massive grin. And then they're all jumping up and down. The pit crew, the engineers, every last one of them, jumping and celebrating in one massive group hug. They don't hate him. They aren't disappointed. They're excited. The bubbling pit in Tommy's stomach fizzles down, smothered, but he's confused. "I really came 4th?" he asks Phil. "You really came 4th. 49.889 seconds. He could have done so much better. He's run laps faster than that on his practice simulator, and Phil knows it. So why isn't he pushing him to try harder next time? Why isn't he upset? Why isn't he acting like 4th place is the pole position? In the end, he doesn't have time to ask any of those questions. He's herded off with his crew, then pulled aside for interview after interview until he's half dead on his feet, and Phil has to literally steal him away. Phil offers another congrats before saying he and the crew are dipping out to the hotel, and Tommy should get some sleep. And Tommy nods his head wearily and goes. He doesn't sleep, though. He tosses and turns and flips his covers off and on, unable to get comfortable while his skin is itching with the knowledge that he could have done better, that he hadn't done good enough. He knows, realistically, that his team didn't seem to care, but old habits are hard to break, and he couldn't help running through his qualifying lap, replaying again and again everything he'd done wrong. The first turn hadn't been tight enough. He should have played risky. He pressed on the brakes too early. He should have given himself more throttle. His team deserves better than him, someone more talented. He presses his face into a cold spot of his pillow and inhales deeply. It's nearly midnight, according to the alarm clock propped up on the nightstand between his and Tubbo's beds. Tubbo is a lump of blankets across from him, utterly dead to the world, and Tommy needs to stop overthinking before he winds up waking him up. He can panic tomorrow, though, or preferably not at all. With this thought in his mind, he rolls back over and attempts to close his eyes for the 40 billionth time. Tommy? Tubbo's voice is quiet and filled with sleep. Tommy only hears it because it's on the other side of his it's on the side of his good ear. He blinks his eyes back open. Yeah, Tubbs, you know you don't have to come first, right? Like, I know we've only worked together for 3 months, but I saw you today after the match, and I don't know. He yawns, and Tommy squeezes his eyes shut tighter. You know fourth is good, right? Like, really good. A breath. I know. Another. Tommy lies in wait as Tubbo softly exhales. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thanks, Tubbo. You're a good friend. Good night. Good night. He's trying. He's trying so hard to believe what they all believe. He wants to take that failure branded paint on his side and peel all the letters back, just like Michael had started to in the garage that day. It's a bit stickier than Spot's, though, and the peeled bits keep clinging to his fingers. He doesn't know how to wash it all off. Yawning, Tommy closes his eyes and prays for the dredges of sleep to pull him under. It takes 2 more hours, but finally, they do. End of chapter 6. Fun fact, you don't actually need a state driver's license to drive a race car. Oh, really? That's pretty interesting. That was oh my god, my heart. Sorry. I'm in my feels right now. I'm in my feels, boys. that last chapter. I need some Animal Crossing. I need some Animal Crossing in my life. Yeah. They got their own special licenses. That's pretty poggers, not gonna lie. Oh, such a good fanfic. It's so good. No, I don't want the stream to end. We're not done just yet. I have been streaming for 2 hours, though. I streamed for 5 hours last time, and oh my god. Everyone's screaming! Oh my gosh. Are you guys gonna be available Tuesday? We're having a very special stream. Guys, it's 11 already. Shoot. Guys, I will have been streaming for 2 years. 2 years! How crazy is that? Kat is literally saying, how are they so good? They just are. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to read. So that means next SBI Sunday guys, there's not gonna be an SBI Sunday next week. I'm gonna be gone. Guys, I'm gonna be gone. So I have winter break coming up. Update, the knot blanket is not done. I got 2 sides done, yes, on Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday is my 2-year streaming anniversary, so we're going to be doing some fun stuff. I'm going to be baking. I'm going to be Minecrafting. I'm going to be building Legos. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun stream. So, but Sunday, I'm going to be in Florida. I'm going to be gone. So we're going to be lacking on some streams, so that's why we're going to try and stream every day this week. So, maybe we'll have a Tommy Thursday so that we can, or SBI, I don't know. We'll read the last 2 chapters this week. It won't be on Sunday, though. So, get hype. Get hype. So you're gonna want to be in this amazing stream that will happen this week. Yay! But I have a lot of Christmas stuff. I literally wrapped all my friends' gifts. And it's 11 now. And I have to meet with my senior show group tomorrow for all my things. Because I'm a senior and I got to do senior show stuff. But I think this is going to be it for today's stream. I'm glad we got to read those last 2 chapters. I love that beach episode chapter so much. Oh my goodness. And I'm so glad we got some new peeps in the chat today. Y'all were funny. But without further ado, I feel like we're going to end the stream now. Because I'm pretty tired and I need to rest my vocal cords. And I want to watch more movies. But yeah. Don't leave. Oh, I'm sorry. This is why I gotta go edit. YouTube videos. I gotta go do all the things. So follow me on all my social medias. Y'all are amazing. But don't leave just yet because we have to raid KitSage _. Please go support Kit. They literally just got back from like a 5-month break. And we need to spread the love, okay? Because we love Kit. How? I eat the emotes that you give me. So they're playing Minecraft right now. They're playing Hypixel. They're chilling out. I love Kit's vibe. Kit is so kind. Literally one of my best friends. So, without further ado, chat. Look at me. Remember, you are worthy. You are valid. You are all so beautiful. And I love you all very, very much. And I will see you all in the next stream, which will be tomorrow at some point. I will stream. It might even be a morning stream. Y'all want to play on Disney Minecraft? We'll do it. All right? But I love you all, and I will see you all later this week. All right? Mwah. Bye, guys. Go join the raid. Join the raid, please. Okay, bye.